Girl Talk by Trick Question. Applejack took a deep breath and knocked on her brother's door. "Hey, Mac, are you decent?" she belted into the door jamb. Hold up now," came a very nervous voice from the other side. "It's fine if you're gussied up, hon. Apple Bloom already told me," said Applejack. "I'm coming in now." Steeling her nerves for the worst, Applejack opened the door. The room was messy. There were a few old dresses on his bed, and cosmetics littered the nightstand. Big Macintosh was cowering in the far corner. He wore a formal gown, a large blonde wig, and a lot of makeup. Applejack was impressed, if not for her brother's giant muzzle and the fact he stood 16 hoofspan tall at the withers. He could easily pass for a mare. She'd been worried she might laugh, but those worries were laid to rest by the expression on her brother's face. Big Mac was terrified. His legs trembled and his eyes were shut tighter than a new barn door. Applejack felt a pang hit her deep in the innards. She shut the door behind her, walked up to her brother, and pulled him into a tight embrace. Then she stepped back and whistled. "You wear that better'n I ever could, brother. I ain't even kiddin'," she said. Thanks, he said. "But I was only practicin', case we had to do it again next year." Applejack took a seat on Big Mac's bed. It didn't have much spring to it, since it needed to be specially reinforced to handle his weight. "Listen, Mac, we need to have us some words," said Applejack. "I'm starting to think that maybe this thing could be about more than just the Sisterhood Social." Big Macintosh shook his head nervously. "Nope," he said. Applejack sighed. "Look here, I ain't assuming you got some kind of issue just 'cause you dressed like a mare to help out your little sis," she said. "I spoke with our neighbors already, and folks think it was mighty sweet of you." "Then what's the big deal?" said Big Macintosh, furrowing his brow. "Well, word is you talked, Mac." For a few awkward moments, No Pony said anything. "I can talk," snorted Big Mac. Then he frowned. "I'm talking now, ain't I?" "Well, sure, you can talk to family. You can even sing. But you and I both know you can't speak hardly nothin' to strangers," Applejack said. "In my whole life I ain't never heard you say more'n 2 or 3 words to any pony outside of kin. When I heard the news, it blew me away. I really wish I could have been there to see it." Big Macintosh sat down on the edge of the bed next to his sister and stared at the floor. Applejack put a leg around her brother. "Mac, don't you think being able to talk in public for the first time in your entire life might mean something significant?" "Nope," said Big Macintosh, turning his face away. "Just means I love Apple Bloom, and that's that." Applejack reached over and took Big Mac's jaw in her hoof and turned his face back towards hers. His makeup was immaculate. "Well, Colt, howdy. That face of yours looks amazin'. Rares herself couldn't have done it up more proper than that," she complimented him. "You do it all by yourself?" "Yep," said Big Macintosh with a shy smile. "Work of that quality don't come easy. That sort of thing takes plenty practice," said Applejack, softening her tone. "Now be honest with me, brother. How long has this thing really been going on for?" Big Macintosh's eyes watered and his ears fell back, and Applejack quickly hoofed him a handkerchief. "Don't muss that darlin' face up now, it'd be a shame." "It's already a shame," he cried, blotting his eyes as his mascara began to run. Applejack bit her lip, trying not to cry herself. "No, it ain't no shame, Mac. Look, no pony in their right mind would choose to suffer like you're doing here right now." "'Cause I ain't in my right mind," choked Big Macintosh, as streaks of black stained the hanky. Applejack reached behind her brother and gently stroked his strong red back with a hoof. "Now that ain't what I meant, and you know it," said Applejack. "What I mean is, whatever this thing is you're wrastlin' with, it ain't no real kind of choice." Big Macintosh sniffled a few times and blew his nose into the handkerchief. Applejack paused for a moment as her brother dried his tears. "Do you want to dress like this all the time?" she asked, very gently. I don't know. Maybe just sometimes," mumbled Big Macintosh. "Oh, AJ, what'll ponies think?" Applejack huffed. Well, Mac, it don't rightly matter what other ponies think. Granny, Bloom, and I back you completely, and our friends will too, said Applejack. Pinky'll want to throw you some kind of crazy party, or more likely a bunch of parties. Rarity's going to want to play dress-up with you whenever she gets the chance. Now, truth be told, I don't really know what to expect from Dash and Twi, but they're both good friends with love in their hearts, and they respect you, so I'm sure they'll come around in no time. Fluttershy, whispered Big Macintosh. I've already talked to Fluttershy, and she still fancies you, said Applejack. You should show her sometime. She thinks it's kind of cute, actually. She does? Said Big Macintosh. The tears stopped rolling. Yep, said Applejack with a smile. Now fix yourself up, 'cause you and I got plans this evening. I ain't going out like this tonight, said Big Macintosh, his eyes wide. Of course not. I just think it's about time I got to know my big sister. Applejack winked. Hearing that, Orchard Blossom dried her eyes and smiled.